Good evening. Welcome to Bud Light Hog Talk. We're here at District Bar and Grill. Great to see everybody out here on this Monday night. I'm Mike Peck. We got a great show for you here, and a nice round of applause for Ben Simon, assistant coach for your Rockford IceHogs.
Hello.
Also on the show tonight, Henrik Carlson and Jimmy Hayes. We'll get to them in a little bit, but first we got to talk about the Hot Hogs. Unfortunately, the win streak came to an end on Saturday's side, but Saturday's game, we'll get to that in a second, wasn't the prettiest of games, but the team's been playing some really good hockey, and when we did this 2 weeks ago, we mentioned how this is exactly what the team needed. They needed to go on a 6 to 8 game win streak, win 8 out of 10, and just kind of get back into the playoff picture, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, over the last couple of weeks, guys have really dug in and did a great job of just playing one period at a time, one shift at a time, and we put ourselves in the playoff hunt now. A couple of weeks ago, we were way outside looking up, but now we're only a couple points back. We do have games in hand on teams, but I think we're in a pretty good situation right now.
And you look at a game like Friday night and you see how well the team played, and then coming back on Saturday, and it was just in the back of my mind, I was thinking, how is this team going to be able to come back and play Saturday as well or in the same neighborhood as they did on Friday? And it kind of puts in perspective how impressive the Blackhawk streak has been, because it is really tough to bring it every single game. And I'm not that the team was due for a letdown, but I mean, the team was so good on Friday night.
Yeah, no, we have been playing great, and you kind of expect the guys to have an off night, and sometimes that does happen. But unfortunately, we did battle, and we played hard in the third period on Saturday, but it was just a little too late. But we can't complain with the effort the guys put in the last few weeks here. They've been tremendous.
How much has it changed, just atmosphere in the locker room, the last 3 weeks compared to the 3 weeks before the All-Star break?
Yeah, well, it's a lot more fun to come to the rink, and anytime you win, a lot of problems are solved pretty quick when things are going your way. But when we were a couple weeks ago, a month ago, when we're way outside the playoff picture, not even thinking about it, it was some days are definitely tougher to come to the rink. But we're having a little success right now, and the guys are. They're having fun coming to the rink and enjoying each other and enjoying competing and getting better every day.
And the playoff push is here. It's March, and we talked a couple weeks ago how for the IceHogs it arrived early again because you needed to get wins, and you got the wins. But with that being said, how hard is it to make sure you just focus on the team, and you've been there as a player, now you've been there as a coach for a couple of years, and not try to worry too much what everybody else is doing, because that's the uncontrollable in this situation.
Yeah, no, we can control our own destiny. We play a lot of the teams that are ahead of us. We play them before the end of the year. This weekend we're playing Oklahoma City, and they're a couple points ahead of us. So, if we beat those teams, we essentially, those games turn from 2-point games to 4-point games, and those are big games for us. Those are playoff games for us. So if we don't win those games, it becomes even harder to make the playoffs.
This is Bud Light Hog Talk. We're out here at District. If you're watching this on TV, we're out here every Monday for the rest of the regular season. The re-airing of Hog Talk airs every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. on 23-2 antenna TV. So getting back to the weekend, it was a heckle and jive weekend, but 2 games, which is kind of the odd week for the rest of the regular season. I think there's only one more 2-game week left. Everything else is 3 or 4 games, so there's going to be a lot of games from here on out.
Yeah, well, it kind of stinks that we didn't have any games this week. We play this weekend, but to have 4 days when we're playing pretty good hockey, we had a couple guys that are sick and a couple guys that are banged up, so that it's good to that point where guys have a couple extra days to recover and get ready for the weekend. But when things are rolling, you're playing well, all you want to do is play and keep playing, and the guys will continue to roll. But it'll be a good week for us to kind of tweak a few things and kind of go over video and film and really get some good rest and good practices in and really jack it back up for the weekend. Yeah,
there's no midweek games until the end of the month, and I guess at this point of the season where everybody's nicked up, nobody's really healthy at this time of the year.
Yeah.
I'm sure is a benefit to get everybody rested up and give them some extra maintenance days if they need it before you get back into the weekend where the heavy game load is.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we did today. Some of the guys skated, and the guys are a little bit banged up or needed an extra day. We gave them that day to just do a workout off the ice or get a sweat in, ride the bike or something like that. But we have 3 full days now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we play Friday. So we'll get 3 good practices in and be ready to go for Friday.
Ben Simon, our guest here, Bud Light Hog Talk, out here at District Bar and Grill. Glad you're with us here tonight. IceHogs making some hay here in the Western Conference playoff picture, and 3 games coming up this weekend, and all 3 are on the road. And I always say you don't like to jump ahead, but looking ahead to Sunday, there's a pretty nasty turnaround there from Oklahoma City flying into Chicago on Sunday morning. American Hockey League, it happens at least once a year for everybody in the Western Conference. I mean, you look at teams like Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Charlotte. They do it multiple times a year, those same-day flights as games. But how tough are those turnarounds to play in?
Yeah, well, they are tough, but it's just different because you're out of your routine. And we'll play Friday and Saturday in Oak City. We're going to wake up very early on Sunday morning, travel to Chicago, fly into O'Hare, get a quick bite, and have a day room at the hotel there. The guys will catch a couple hours of sleep, and it's right back to the rink to play a third game in less than 3 nights. So the recovery time is shortened a little bit, but like you say, all teams do it. It's the unfortunate part of the minor leagues, but that's the way it is. Both teams do it. Every team does it, so there are really no excuses. And we've got some young legs. We got some guys that are capable of doing it, and that's not an excuse. So
right.
I mean, we'll empty our tanks Friday, fill them back up Saturday morning, go Saturday night, and do the same thing Sunday.
And something that people might not understand is there's 2 flights out of Oklahoma City to Chicago on Sundays, and we don't have a charter flight, so you either get the 6 a.m. flight or I think it's like a 9:50 flight. Yeah. So it's not even like, you could pick and choose when you get into Chicago. So, it's those little, I guess, quirks in the way that the schedule lays out.
Yeah, no, and when you're traveling, you're at kind of the mercy of the schedule of the airlines and stuff like that. But, if we had to pick a different flight because we had too many people, we probably would have left you at home. But unfortunately, we got everyone on the same flight, so you'll be making the trip to Chicago with us. So.
Well, it's there was some extra baggage in our room there. I think it's where I usually go anyways, right?
We'll tuck you underneath the plane. Yeah.
Now, Oklahoma City is a good stop on the tour. It's a nice area there. It's a very random stop. People might not think Oklahoma City, nice little stop on the tour. But as a player, what was your favorite stop to play at?
Ooh, good question. Probably some of the warmer stops. My first couple of years when I played in Orlando. So
oh yeah, see
it was going away from Orlando. You always went to the
you come north of Chicago
No, but it's fun to just get on the road anywhere because you're as a group, as a team, and you're spending a lot of time together. It's a lot of fun just to kind of be hanging together and focusing on hockey.
Yeah, and it's also nice when you're that close. And I guess what I like about Oklahoma City, all the restaurants right there, the rink is right there, so you're not relying on a bus schedule. It just seems like it's a lot looser when we're in a situation like that compared to maybe Austin, where we're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah,
no, there are some buildings that are a little bit isolated, a little bit out there. But another building that I like going home. I'm from Cleveland, so whenever I go to Cleveland, it's good to go home and I get to see my family, my brothers.
It's a great building there, though, too.
And it's a great building, yeah. So.
But it is Cleveland.
Yeah, thank you. Born and raised, thank you.
I had to get that in there.
But,
I had to get that in there.
No, so that'd probably be one of the better buildings. But there are some that are just harder to get to just for travel. Yeah. But for the most part, a lot of the buildings they're pretty good setups.
For the record, I do like Cleveland, actually.
Okay.
I'm not just saying that because you're up here. I've been a record of saying that before.
Okay, on the record. We have it on tape.
We're hanging out here with Ben Simon, Bud Light Hog Talk here out at District Bar and Grill. The team is back in the playoff picture, but I'm sure it's been preached. As quickly as things turned around and the team got back into it, if you're not careful, it can go back to where it was just 2 short weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Well, on Saturday night we were in 9th place and 1-2 points out of a playoff spot, and then we lost that game. And now we're, I think, in 11th place, and now we're 3 spots out. So it can change pretty quickly, pretty dramatically in 1 or 2 games. So you have to kind of be aware of that and kind of know who's playing who. And it's fun. That competition, that drive, it's fun. This is the best part of the year.
Something that the IceHogs have never really had. Now, they had it 07, 08, I think. The power play was pretty good. And, I know the time in the United League, the power play was always average at best. This is the first time that the IceHogs have had an upper echelon power play in the league. And, it's been top 10 pretty much the entire year. But the last, 2 months, it's been really good. What's made this power play so effective here? Pretty much the entire season. It's just been really consistent.
Yeah, no, I think it's a testament to the guys that are on the power play. And we've used a lot of different guys throughout the year on the power play, but our depth, I think it shows our depth and our level of talent. I mean, both units, we've got a lot of talented guys that can score goals. So I think we've used different people in different situations, and right now the guys have really hit their stride on both units. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. We've really power play 1A and 1B. I mean, we're pretty confident putting either unit out, and hopefully either one will have success.
What's interesting about that, the power play, it was on Friday 4 whole percentage points better than it was when the NHL lockout ended. So when those guys left, and you talk about two lines, and it's two. That's what's been really impressive about it. There's been two lines that have been contributing, but it shows the depth that is here in this organization. You lose Nick Leddy, who's on the top power play lineup in Chicago. Brandon Saad played on it yesterday, at least at the end of the game he was. Yep. And then obviously Shaw played on it at times as well. So there's three guys right there that were lost from the power play unit, but the power play here has still flourished.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's funny that it doesn't really matter. I mean, we could put defensemen on the point, forwards on the point. We got different guys in front of the net, and somehow I mean the guys they do their homework before though. I mean, they look at video, they study what the other team's penalty killing is doing and what they're going to do and what they've done in previous games. So they work hard at it. It's not just they go out there and not only do they have a lot of skill, but they actually do their homework and they kind of study the little habits and details of other players and other team systems as well.
This IceHogs team has 6 guys that have, I believe it's 14 goals or more. Mm-hmm. That's a lot at the end of the year. To have that at this time of the year, still with, 20-some games left on the schedule, and you look at the distribution of goals, it's not just like they're all first and second line guys. I mean, that's kind of a generic term to use for different lines, but you can argue Kyle Beach has been playing third or fourth line lately. He's got 14 goals, and you look up and down the lineup. I mean, there's a lot of guys with a good amount of goals. It's impressive the distribution of the offense on this team.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show you our depth. I mean, we've got tremendous amount of talent and depth that from our first through our fourth lines, and even the guys that aren't playing. I mean, we've got a lot of talented guys in the organization. I think that says a lot about what the Blackhawks have done. In drafting players and also what Mark Bernard, the general manager here, has done. So, I mean, we've found some good players and we've developed some good players and even better players. So, and they're still developing.
And you look at what has made this team successful. There's the guys up front. When I say up front, your leading point producers, but also you look at the guys that weren't here when the calendar year turned. Yeah. You're talking about Brad Mills, Kendall McCardle, Brandon Svensson. He was here but injured. Yep. You look at guys like that. Those are your guys that kind of get you over the hump, right? I mean, they're going to chip in points, they're going to score goals, but at the same time, I mean, they're so big difference makers when they're on the ice.
Oh, for sure. I mean, most successful teams, your top players are typically, hopefully, going to be your top players. But if Team A's top players are their top players, Team B's top players are their top players. It comes down to that. Your glue guys, we like to call them, and those core group of players that do all the dirty work and aren't afraid to be put in any kind of role and just do whatever it takes for the team to win. And we've got a great group of those players as well.
Now, I'm not making predictions, or I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but you've been on championship teams before, and teams that make run to champ. And Matthew Baudouin's another guy, and it should be mentioned that's no coincidence that he was on a team, the Houston Aeros, that made it to the Western Conference Finals. The very next year, he was on the Texas Stars, who made it to the Calder Cup Finals. So another, I guess you could say, glue guy. Yep. But every team that makes a run in the playoff, they have those glue guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's contagious. Winning is contagious, and everyone, if you have success on any team, most other teams in the future are looking for those winners, and they've been a part of it. They know what it takes to win. They know what it takes not to win. So. If you get the reputation of being a winner, people want to be around that. People want to be associated with that. So, if you have anytime you have a championship on your resume, that's always a huge bonus as you look at a player and you're recruiting them.
Crazy thought, and it's been brought up before. You look at the NHL this season and how exciting the regular season is. Yep. How fun would it be to play in a 48, 52-game regular season instead of a 76 to 82-game regular season?
Yeah, it'd be different. It'd be a quick sprint. You were more of a marathon guy, but it's just a completely different race. It makes every game, every point, magnified even more. But it'd be a little bit different, I think, and I think it might be even more stressful than a drawn-out season.
Yeah, I mean, it would never happen because the mighty dollar rules in the world, especially in the world of sports and entertainment. But, I mean, you look at just right now in the NHL, I mean, I think it would be absolutely fascinating if a league every league is too long right now with the exception of the NFL, and they want to lengthen that. But, I mean, it would make things just a lot more. And this year, it's going to be fascinating as we get into mid-March what happens there. I mean, this time of year, I guess I say that because how much more fun is it this time of year as a player when you turn that calendar to March and you know that you're in the thick of the playoff push compared to January and February and even in December where you're in the grind of the regular season?
Yeah, well, when you get to this point in the year, you can kind of see, we always talk at the beginning of the year of getting to playoffs. Once you get into playoffs, anything can happen. And when you look at the Stanley Cup last year, the eighth seed, how far they went, and obviously won it. So, I mean, getting to where we are now, I mean, you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and holy smokes, we're in this race, and only 20 more games, less than 20 games, we can make our final push. You can see kind of an end point to all the hard work and all the dedication you've put in.
It just seems like there's a different feel. And one thing I'll say about this team, the energy level around this team this year has been pretty consistent, about as consistent that I've ever seen. Yeah. And it just, even when we had bottomed out a little bit there with the losing streak or whatever, but it just still felt like, the energy level was there around the team, which has got to be, something that is very important in the locker room.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the guys come to the rink and we've got a lot of different personalities and a lot of, some guys that keep it loose, some guys that are very intense, and I think we have a good balance of both sides of the spectrum, and then the guys just right now are having a fun time.
I'm going to start a petition. 58 games is what it's going to be.
58. Yeah. All right. You taking a reduction too?
Yeah, probably not. All right.
The almighty dollar rules. Are you going to take a reduction too?
Yeah, I'm your round. No, you're right. All right. So, well, thanks for hopping on as always. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Pecker.
All right. Nice round of applause for Ben Simon, assistant coach for your Rockford IceHogs. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, Henrik Karlsson will be our guest. This is Bud Light Hog Talk. We're out here at District Bar and Grill on 23-2 Antenna TV.